just use your keyboard arrows to move your cursor around. Is what the same thing?
Yeah.
How do I get the little like X?
So the subscript is under the script option.
Third one down, second one. And it should say boss. What's above the top one?
The top one, you have to do better than that.
Yeah, it's like in front of it.
So it's because you're not it's not in a line by itself. Like if I come over here and I press spacebar, it has to be the only things written in that line, and it'll be big and pretty then.
How do I do it like that?
So you just make sure it's on its own line, that there's no other like. So do this. See this button right here on the home that looks the little paragraph symbol? Press that so you can see all the editing marks. And if there's any spaces or whatever on this line, you have to get rid of those. Or any regular typing, you have to get rid of it. And then it should all and make it big and pretty.
Mine says it's like one line, but it still looks like that.
Well, come show me.
then go to accent, and then it's the third one down is the second.
Oh, I see why it's because it's not all.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Maybe the font's gotta be bigger or something.
This is why. There we go. Yep. Now it should go. So it should all work now.
So done.
So what do I have to do to make it like that?
It's, I guess it's just gotta be all in one box.
Oh, like,
Like, why are you not? I literally go, not everything's about you. It's not. Mr. Floyd, can I use bathroom?
Yep.
Yeah, I literally.
So it needs to all be in the same
Nah, it's not like you
thing.
should stop thinking about you.
oh, like I don't.
You never get out of this.
That's it.
Yeah, it just stays in here. So like you don't ever, no spaces, nothing, just all, it all lives in here.
Okay.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Convert to small, and then the things won't go on the top of the bottom anymore.
Yep. It's because you're and. type the and in here. Just do that.
What, you unitalicized?
I did.
Okay.
That should be lowercase.
No.
I don't know. Don't use an upper. Okay.
Thank you.
Should be able to go. All right, so now that I've typed the formula, I need to tell, I've used some other symbols here, right? Need to define what n, xi, and yi are. So when I type in n, I'm not going to just type in end. With the keyboard, I don't want it to look like this. Does this n look like the same as that n in that formula? No. Is that consistent notation? No. So to type the n, I'm just going to go insert, equation, type the letter n, exit out of the equation editor. So the n is fancy script, just like it is in the formula. And the same thing with the xi, so I'll just go insert, script, xi. So xi would be what? Like the ith sample. Oh, let's say, well, say xi and yi. Oops. Are the ith sample. So again, to get the I, I'm going to insert equation script I, probably unitalicize this. Then I can say the mean for my data set is calculated by and then I'll just type in something like x bar equals. And I'll have like, I'm just going to make up numbers now since I don't have a data set. So I'll just do a couple and then do a dot, dot, dot. Say there's like 54 of them. And then I'll say approximately, because I'm going to round this answer to 3 sig figs, right? So if you look up here in the big box, when we, in our equation editor, there's the approximate symbol. And I don't know, let's make up a number, 4.76. And I'll do the same thing now for y. Make up some numbers, dot, dot, dot. And we'll say that's approximately 2.91. So this is me now just showing my work for how I'm calculating the actual mean in my data sets. I should say means, because I'm doing 2 of them. Now, this is not a major calculation, so I don't need to talk about what the mean is showing me or anything like that. So I'll just move on to standard deviation. The point of this is to do the correlation coefficient. So I'll say then I'll denote the population standard deviation, notice that I'm being specific here. There's two types of standard deviations. I'm going to say population. And the symbol that we've been using most commonly for standard deviation is that sigma symbol, right? So I'll do insert, and if I do the drop down, most of my Greek letters are here, in there. The ones I need probably are all there. But before I type in the Greek letter, I'm going to put the subscript symbol because I want sigma sub x and then sigma sub y. And now on my own fresh line, I'm going to type in the formula for standard deviation. So sigma x equals, now do like 1 over n. Now the formula here is 1 over n times the square root of the sum of the difference squared. So I'm going to start by putting the square root in there. I kind of build these things from the outside in. So to get the square root, I'm just going to press the radical button and pick the first option. Then I'll move my cursor inside, and I'm going to do the sum. So I'll pick the large operator and pick the second option. And then inside that, I'm going to do script, superscript. Inside that, I'm going to do a parenthesis. Just pick the first option. And then I'm going to have xi minus x bar. So script, subscript for xi. Minus, and then accent bar for x bar, and then go back and fill in the rest of these spots. So that thing should be squared. That's I to n. And then I'll just copy and paste and just update this for the y's. And let's make that normal typeface and. Now this is time consuming, which is why we're spending some time in class making sure we do this now, right? Showing you guys a little bit how to do this. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but Word is reasonably good at just making this just like you're picking menus and you're picking the thing you want. Now, getting used to how you're building these things takes a little bit of time. It's okay. But this is a helpful skill to have, particularly if you're planning on doing any kind of college major where you'll be writing any kind of a report, like a lab report. It's quite helpful to be good at doing this kind of thing. Makes your paper look pretty professional. Joey? That's just the paragraph symbol, because I have the editing marks on Word.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, it just tells me that it's like the end of a line. I like putting these on because it makes it easy to troubleshoot, like, why is this like not looking the way I want it to? Because I can see what Word is doing. So I always have that on when I'm typing things. Because if I go and I press like space at the end of this, look at what it does to my thing. It looks all gross, right? So even if I try to recenter it, it doesn't always work for me, right? If I just like get rid of the little space at the end or something, I can it's a little bit easier to see, right? Oops.
How do I do the square thing?
So when I built this thing out, I did the square root, I did the sum, I did the superscript, I did the parenthesis, and then I typed the stuff inside. Nate, if you've already typed in the stuff and you want to add the square to the end, if you have like a parenthesis and you do like Shift-6, 2, and then press the space bar, it'll slap the Shift-6, type to the number 2, and then press the space bar. Watch. Okay, so let's say I have something I want to put the squared on the outside.
Yeah.
So I'll type Shift and the number 6 to get that little caret.
Yeah.
I'll type the number 2.
I'll keep holding shifts.
No. Shift is gone. I just held Shift to like type the caret and then press the space bar. And it'll just like turn it into a superscript. You know? If you forgot to do it in the beginning, it's like it can be very unforgiving if you try to do things in a weird order.
Yeah, I'm having that same problem where like the Sigma notification doesn't like look like that. I don't know why. Because it's on its like its own line.
It's probably because you've used separate equations or something, or you have spaces in there. Again, Nate, so like when I scroll over this, you see how the whole box grays?
Yeah, mine has that.
Okay. So this is why. See all those spaces there? See the tab? See the space at the end? Oops.
What do I do? Like,
So now,
why?
now you can just say like and. Let's make that not italic. Just copy this whole thing and then just go back and edit the X's and the Y's. Right? Now notice in this standard deviation formula, are there any symbols we haven't yet defined? We defined n, we defined xi, we've defined x bar, we defined yi, we defined y bar. There's nothing new in here, right? Do I need to write what any of those things are again? No, I've already done it once. So I just move on and, say like, the population standard deviation is calculated by, and then just start filling into my formula. of 8 minus the mean squared. 11 minus the mean squared. Is that time for us to go?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk more about this again. What? Yeah, that's fine. You too.
Nice.